What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day right now. Wow, look at the sun. Look at the sun. And also we have a new setup now. I used to have my desk set up over here so that in the camera I could see my kitchen, which is like very horizontal, very traditional setup of how people usually have their setup. But I was like, wait, I need to adjust the environment so I love it, so I like it, and I enjoy it. And this is exactly what I enjoy. I want to be looking at the screen, and as well as I want to be looking at this beautiful view. I want to be enjoying the view that we have, because earlier I was working like this, and then to think I would look like 90 degrees, but now I'm literally just looking 10 degrees or 5 degrees, whatever. So it's like now I really feel like I'm enjoying the view, and it's like it's right in the middle of my home, or right in the middle of my living room. Um, it's also really important, I think, just to, yeah, sometimes, yeah, today we were doing the stream, or today we were writing, we're in the perfect flow state. And I think this is also something that we read yesterday, flow as forward escape. I think it's very interesting when you are in a flow state. And when you're in a flow state, you're constantly thinking, you are naturally thinking about things that you want to improve. You're naturally thinking about that, oh shit, I have this one thing I need to use, I need a new smell, I need a new music, I need to stimulate my brain, I want to input more creativity in my brain and stuff like that, and how that produces into my work and stuff. I think in general what you need to take care of is your energy. Your energy has to be in a beautiful state, so that I found this Nordic spa music. It's amazing. It's playing right now at like very low volume, but it's amazing. It's just something, a lot of good music. I started with like sitar and tabla. I thought that would be pretty cool, but it's kind of, but tabla and sitar it's good. But I think this sauna music is very interesting, because when I'm listening to it, I'm kind of still in the state of sauna. And I think that is pretty cool. Like tabla and sitar, yes, that is again a different kind of music, a different kind of stimulation. One good thing about music like this is, or just instruments, is it allows you, this is straight energy, it allows you to go into your own thoughts, rather than when you are listening to someone else with their own lyrics and they're talking about things that you might not align with, that's not how you think really. So what you really want is to use these music, use certain music that have been created to represent certain energies, and listen to that music, be in a flow state, maybe write, maybe think, maybe just go on a walk, and then see like what those emotions bring within you. And I think that is really interesting. That is very cool. One other thing is that we are going to be hosting the Vancouver Film Festival. We are hosting Vancouver Film Festival on March 30th, Orpheum Theater. Wait, yes, this is pretty cool. Actually, it's in mirror, so you cannot read. But anyways, it's really cool. I'm really happy with this new setup. It's very, yeah. It's like very unconventional. It's not like, yeah. And I think this is pretty cool. I'm like slowly changing the orientation, slowly changing everything to my, what do we say? To my preference, and I think that is pretty cool. Actually, we'll make one more change. Pause video. Okay, we are back, and I just added one more plant over there, because why not? Actually, one more change. Boom. Okay, boom. Okay, now this is good. One more change. Yeah, the dishwashing soap, not dishwasher, but the dishwashing soap is in line, and that is not a beautiful view. That is not a very aesthetic view. That you have all this wine and like nice plant, and then you got like a blue colored liquid. Yeah, you don't want that. But anyways, okay, we talk about music, we talk about energy, we talk about view, we talked about like just changing the orientation slowly. We want to put some art. I think slowly. I think we'll do everything. But I think this is also important. Just having natural light on my face, like straight natural light on my face. That is pretty cool. And I think this is also very interesting. Like I pretty much have not 360 degree, but I pretty much have what's this angle? What's this much angle? It's more than 90 degrees, maybe like 120 degrees. I pretty much have 120 degree view right now. And I think that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Maybe I might like I might get a bigger extension and just push my entire setup like way closer to the balcony, because that is the area that I want to enjoy. That is the area that I want to enjoy. Like is again interesting, enjoying your own space. The last space that I had, the last home that I had, I was just over there, just out on a walk, and I was just thinking about it, that wow, it's been like more than a month I have left my home. And it's the weirdest thing is, it's like from my work setup, my previous home is like right there. It's like right on the top of my monitor. I can see my I can see like 10 floors of my really tall building, of my really tall previous home. And it's very interesting. Like yesterday I was out there on a walk, and yeah, you feel all those nostalgia, you feel all those you feel nostalgia, you feel like you feel like, did you make the most out of that home? I was looking at the swimming pool area, and the swimming pool was really nice. The gym was really nice. The gym is like one of Vancouver's best gym in apartment. So it's pretty cool. And I was just thinking about that. Wow, we have finally left this home. Yeah, and did I use this space enough? So anyways, that's all I was feeling. But again, coming to the main point, right now I'm focused on French. We are gonna crush French. I think constantly finding more and more creative ways to make your goals fun is really important. How do you make your goals fun? I actually really like this. Like right now I'm just looking over there, which is like right beside my screen, and that is amazing. It's beautiful. You can enjoy the view more, because sometimes you think about that, okay, I'm standing over there, how much am I going to look at how much am I going to look over there, how much am I going to enjoy the view? But this is really cool. I'm really getting to enjoy the view, the beautiful colors in the sky, everything. I'll click another photo of this thing. Yeah, really cool. Maybe let's turn on the lights. Okay, well also yeah, only one of the lights, because we already pretty much have a lot of natural light coming in, but it's okay, this is good. Okay. Okay. We're experimenting live over here with our lightings and with everything. What about this? Do we like the contrast? Because earlier both of them were yellow, but maybe we like this contrast better. Okay, anyways, I think this is good. And I think the light on my face, we're gonna keep having the light on my face, so this is not gonna be an issue. I was also thinking of putting a lamp somewhere over here so that in the night I can get more light on my face, because right now there is no way that I can get more light on my face. That is the only weird thing, but it's okay. That is forcing me to buy a lamp. And I think this is also pretty cool. I waited for a long time. oh, I shouldn't say waited, I'm already waiting. I'm waiting for a long time to get the right setup, to really love, to really enjoy my space, to really figure out where do I need to put what. Because slowly we'll get a sense of the space. Slowly we will experiment with things, we'll get a sense of the space. Yeah, we'll slowly get a sense of the space. Also, it's pretty cool to just like keep wine bottles everywhere, even though I'm not drinking wine, but wine bottles have a really good aesthetic. They have the nice bottle structure, they have the nice branding, which is all in French. And hey, that is what French is for. French is just for the aesthetics. French is just for the aesthetics. What if the plant was here? Do we have good balance, composition? Do we have good composition going on right now? I don't know. Okay, maybe we'll go with this for now. Yeah, because we already have a tiny plant over there, so this is better. This is better. Okay. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. This is much better than putting like than relying on an art piece. This is much better. Okay, cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. All right, Vancouver AI Film Festival, or WIFE, VAIFF, WIFE. Vancouver AI Film Festival, WIFE. So yesterday I was looking into Hardeep and Sanket? No. Shantanu? No. I forgot his name, but the other guy. And they both had tweets about like about their festival, about the Mumbai AI Film Festival that they hosted, and now they're hosting the India AI Film Festival, which is amazing work. And this is really important because even in Vancouver is I think pretty much 10% of Hollywood movies are shot in Vancouver, and everybody is moving towards AI. So we need to be, all the artists have always been at the forefront of using the latest and greatest tools. So even now, artists have to be using the latest and greatest tools and AI to really push the boundaries of storytelling. And at the end of the day, what's really important is stories. And what we are here trying to do is we are trying to push more and more beautiful stories out there. There are a lot of people who have interesting stories. There are a lot of people who are capable of making very fascinating stories, very engaging, fascinating stories. But the problem is budget. The problem is resources. The problem is timing and logistics, and being able to book certain spots, and being able to book certain characters, book certain actors, and a lot of VFX costs and stuff like that. Resources in general has always been a limiting factor. Now with AI, we can remove all of this. By the way, this setup is amazing right now because I'm really enjoying the music we got going over here. All right, and also I got some nice orange glare on my face, which is good. Okay, so yeah, it's really important to make sure that the most fascinating stories that the most engaging storytellers, the most fascinating storytellers that we already know are able to actually bring these ideas to life. And that is what AI is allowing to do. Like, yes, Claude is doing amazing work for co-working and all those things and professional work and white collar jobs. Once all this stuff is eliminated, what is going to happen? What is going to truly happen is we're going to be focusing on more and more arts and crafts and storytelling and bringing ideas to life and doing interesting, fascinating things. And actually, it's not even that interesting, fascinating things. It's just that people who already were amazing, who didn't have the resources, just giving them the right resources. Because there are already a lot of interesting people who are just not able to go direct to their consumers because of lack of resources, lack of attention. So now we not only want to give them the right resources, but we also want to resources, training, and we want to give them the attention. So this is very interesting. And it would be fascinating to not just bring like, let's say, oh, if you're a hacker and coder and now, hey, use Grok Imagine or use 11 Labs to make a video. It's more about people who are already amazing storytellers, but who have no idea about AI, who are not that into this entire AI thing. It's important to bring them into the game. That, hey, in the traditional world, in the conventional world, you were limited by certain things. All the limits have now been evaporated. All the limits have now been, the powers have been unleashed. Also, one interesting thing is I just got my book, Upanishads. Wow, beautiful aesthetic. Like, look at this photo over here. This photo is also really amazing. It is written by Eknath Ishwaran. Okay. And somebody said something very interesting over here that... Okay, let's read this one. No one in modern times is more qualified. No, make that as qualified to translate the epochal classics of Indian spirituality than Eknath Ishwaran. And the reason is clear. It is impossible to get to the heart of those classics unless you live them, and he did live them. My admiration of the man and his work is boundless. This is Huston Smith, author of The World's Religions. Wow. It's amazing. Like, this has also been a certain kind of like criticism for Upanishads, that people take things too literally sometime. Because what is Upanishad? The Upanishad is all the knowledge that was delivered by saints, sages, orally to their students, to their disciples, and then it just kept on going from one generation to other generation. And the reason it kept on going orally is because it was music. And the beautiful thing about music is that if you remember the music, once you remember the tone, once you remember the music, if you remember the music, it's easier to remember the words. And that is the beauty of Upanishads. And the criticism of Upanishadic translations to English and all other languages was basically the fact that it is not just about the knowledge. It's also really important. The music is also really important because it puts you into the right state of mind. Or not even state of mind. It just puts you into the right state. And that state is really important. That state is really important to make sure that you are, number one, able to consistently stay in that state every single day. It's not just like, oh, you read a nice quote one day for you read like in the evening on a Sunday, and for that 1 minute you thought, wow, this is amazing, and you had like a blissful moment, and then suddenly you forget about a thing and you're back to your normal life, and you totally forgot that you came across this thing. It's more about, there's a reason why this is music, because it helps you to get into that state, to absorb that knowledge, but also to be able to replicate that state again and again. And I'm guessing that is kind of the whole, that is kind of the wholeness, or that is the wholesome. No, that's not wholesome, but that's like the entirety. Yeah, that's the entirety of the argument over there with the Upanishadic translations, that people focus too much on just the knowledge itself, but what's also truly important is the state, the music, the poetic way, not the poetic, but the musicality of it is also really important. The state is also really important. And yeah, especially the music is really important. Yeah, yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. In the ancient wisdom text called the Upanishads, illumined sages share flashes of insight. Flashes of insight. The results of their investigation into consciousness itself. In extraordinary visions, they experience directly a transcendent reality, which is the essence or self of each created being. They teach that each of us, each self, is eternal, deathless, one with the power that created the universe. Ishwaran's best-selling translation of selections taken from the principle Upanishadic and 5 others is reliable and accessible. It includes an overview of the cultural and historical setting with chapter introductions, notes, and a Sanskrit glossary. I also really don't like there's like one Indian guy who actually, instead of saying Sanskrit, he says Sanskrit. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, but it is Ishwaran's understanding of the wisdom of the Upanishads and their relevance to the modern reader that makes this edition truly outstanding. Each sage, each Upanishad appeals in different ways to the reader's head and heart. As Ishwaran writes, the Upanishads belong not just to Hinduism, they are India's most precious legacy to humanity, and in that spirit they are offered here. Wow. 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 Belong not just to Hinduism, they are India's most precious legacy to humanity, and in that spirit they are offered here. I am also really curious. Huston Smith. Okay, let's see. Top quotes from Huston Smith. Yes, let's go. I don't know if how much is this playing this music is affecting the stream, but it's okay. It's okay. Have we maybe added more character over here with this light and with this plant and with this new angle over here? I don't know, but this is working. This is working. Okay. The larger the island of knowledge, the longer the shoreline of wonder. The larger the island of knowledge, the longer the shoreline of wonder. A reminder that learning only deepens mystery. The larger the island of knowledge, the longer the shoreline of wonder. Learning only deepens mystery. Learning only deepens mystery. I think this is also something, a code or something like an insight that somebody was talking about, that every time you are doing something, you are feeling the opposite of it. So when you are going to the gym to build strength, you are every day feeling weak. When you are learning something every day, you are every day feeling like you don't know enough. So you have to be okay with that feeling, because what's actually happening is that you are progressing as compared to the baseline or the average people or an average person who is not putting in the effort. So you have to remember, you have to kind of like put yourself into the state. Also, I think I don't know what is happening, but slowly I'm getting into the simplistic not ideas, but simplistic designs. And maybe I think we'll change this bottom layer as well. We'll make it more and more simple. We'll make it more and more simple. Yes. And ChatGPT Atlas is now OpenAI Atlas. So we'll make that update as well. We'll add Network School over here. Network School is amazing. The larger the island of knowledge, the larger the island of knowledge, the longer the shoreline of wonder. We are born in mystery, we live in mystery, and we die in mystery. Life is an invitation rather than a puzzle. Life as an invitation rather than a puzzle. Life is an invitation rather than a puzzle. I think one interesting thing we have done with putting the plant over here is that we have removed we have freed up a lot of space from there, which is amazing. Okay. We're born in mystery, we live in mystery, and we die in mystery. The goal of spiritual life is not altered states, but altered traits. Growth over glamour. We are a blend of dust and divinity. A poetic human self-portrait. We are a blend of dust and divinity. We are a blend of dust and divinity. We are free when we are not the slave of our impulses, but rather the master. We are free. We are free when we are not the slave of our impulses, but rather their master. We are free when we are not slave of our impulses, but rather their master. Inner freedom as authorship of one's own life. On religion, unity, and understanding. If we take the world's enduring religions at their best, we discover the distilled wisdom of the human race. If we take the world's enduring religions at their best, we discover the distilled wisdom of the human race. Core wisdom across traditions. God has to speak to each person in their own language. Truth in translation, not uniformity. God has to speak to each person in their own language. Wow. 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 This is very cool. This is very cool because it's like in their own language is pretty cool. Yes, in their own language, in their own way, something that deeply resonates with each and every person. I think, yeah, that is truly important. That is truly important. Beware of the differences that blind us to the unity that binds us. Beware of the differences that blind us. Beware of the differences that blind us to the unity that binds us. Wow. A call to see beyond surface divides. Wow. A call to see beyond surface divides. Beware of the differences that blind us to the unity that binds us. Beware of the differences that blind us to the unity that binds us. I think this is very important. This is very important. Love. Love. We all want to feel love. We all want to feel loved. We all want to love. We all want to feel love. We all want family. We love that family aspect. Yes, yes. Beware of the differences that blind us to the unity that binds us. All isms end up in schisms. A classic critique of rigid ideology. All isms end up in schisms. The most powerful moral influence is example. Ethical living as its own persuasion. The most powerful moral influence is example. Ethical living as its own persuasion. Sharp takes and aphoristic gems. You can never get enough of what you don't really want. You can never get enough of what you don't really want. Desires double bind. Desires double bind. You can never get enough of what you don't really want. Sometimes these are like very written in a very interesting way. I have no idea what it means. Okay, we need to spend some time to understand this. You can never get enough of what you don't really want. You can never get enough of what you don't really want. Okay. Science makes major contributions to minor needs. Science makes major contributions to minor needs. Religion is at least at work on the things that matter most. Institutions are not pretty. Religion is institutionalized spirituality, faith versus structure. When historians look back on our century, they may remember it not for space travel, but for people taking one another seriously. Top quotes from Huston Smith. The goal of spiritual life is not altered states but altered traits. See, it's so interesting like how Claude responds. Claude responds in a much nicer way. Interesting. Here's one of Huston Smith's most memorable quotes, fitting given your deep interest in the intersection of ancient wisdom and modern life. The goal of spiritual life is not altered states, but altered traits, and when the transformation isn't about peak experiences, but lasting change in character. The only way to possess a truth is to be possessed by it. The only way to possess a truth is to be possessed by it. Okay, interesting. By the way, while this is happening, we want to go back to seeing if the thing that we wanted to do yesterday is now working. Do we have transcript for day 25? Oh my god, no transcript. Why do I not have transcript for this live stream? Take a screenshot. Okay, Claude is taking a screenshot. Claude is clicking on it. And another screenshot, it seems like. Okay. Okay, it's actually trying to click around. Wow. Okay. It's important to look through what Claude is doing. Press key, escape. Okay. Zoom. Okay. I want to see what exactly are you doing. Okay. Take a screenshot. Hover. What are you doing next? Click on something. Oh my god. Claude wants to read. Okay. Allow. Take a screenshot. It takes a screenshot. Okay. Click. What do you want to do? Claude wants to click on studio.youtube.com. Okay. Go. Ineligible. Okay. Okay. Go. Pourquoi? Take a screenshot. Okay, this is very interesting. This is very interesting. Okay. Claude is amazing. Sutitra, copyright protected content found. The owner allows the content to be used on YouTube. Okay. Okay. It's because of the copyright thing that happened. Okay. Channel visibility. The claim doesn't restrict your video at the moment. Okay. The reason you don't have a transcript for this live stream is most likely because of the copyright claim on the video. The video has a copyright claim on the audio content, especially the song. There's also a visual content claim for the dinosaurs. While these claims don't restrict visibility or give you a copyright strike, they appear to be blocking automatic transcript caption generation. No subtitles, just a dash. Publish February 5, the stream date. The show transcript option is missing. What's likely happening? YouTube sometimes restricts or disables the transcript feature on YouTube on videos with copyright claim content, particularly when music is directed, preventing the transcript. What you can try: check if automatic captions actually work by playing the video with CC enable. You can manually upload subtitles file by the subtitle section in the YouTube studio. If the music copyright claim is a root cause, removing or replacing the copyright audio segment could restore full transcript functionality. Okay, let's do that. Take action. Trim out segment. Let's just trim that out. So I think you might want to see what's happening. Okay, let's see. Share my screen, and where is Google Chrome? Okay, let's check this out.
Never seen it before. Long before our time.
Quick update to the sunlight situation. Oh. No, this one. Okay, we have beautiful sun, but we have to keep the shades a little bit down so I can actually see what's happening.
A route collateral. Witness the rise. Train of the Lord. Native Phoenix Empire. Translation ground. Commandos. Route to skies. Establecidos. Atracciones.
Really cool. Really cool. You preview the video before confirming. Once your edits are applied, they will be permanent and can be undone. You can still retrieve your original video in Google Takeout. It might take minutes to hours for changes to apply. During processing, viewers will see the current video. Editing will be unavailable. After the edit is successfully applied, we will update any visibility monetization restrictions, confirm changes. Okay, so thank you for day 25. Now looking at day 26. Is day 26 transcript? Day 26 transcript is available. Let's go. New chat. And you can go and give me the post-stream extract. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, give me the plan. Donne-moi le plan. Transcript, read and extract, analyze transcript faster with insights, action items. Boom. Okay, so we'll let this guy go and run. Sometimes you kind of also want to keep a tab on it, but Claude is good. I think this reminds me of like people who are just doing the dangerously skip permissions on Claude, which is not something that you should be doing. Not something you should be doing. Okay, we're back. The goal of spiritual life is not altered states, but altered traits. Not altered states, but altered traits. Okay, we have one more light. Let's try to turn on this light. Boom. This light should fall straight on my face. Boom. Yes. We have some light. Okay. Okay, this is nice. This is nice. Instead of using the light straight, we are using a chimney light to illuminate a little bit. But what has happened now is the yellowness of this light has kind of dulled down. The saturation of this yellow light has gone down. Now we have more and more yellow in home. Okay, this looks like a nice setup. All right, cool. Looks like a nice setup. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Wow, this setup looks crazy right now. All right, amazing work. Let's see where you have reached. Oh, I think Claude is playing my video, which is weird. Whoa. And it's also interesting, like as Claude, as Opus 4.6 is going, it's interesting, like I think every time it uses a different method to reach this, not the same conclusion, but every time it uses a different method, which is very interesting. On one end, you can you can say that, okay, it's getting smarter and smarter. Oh my god. But it was really fast. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we have. It's updated or it's generated. Crazy. So I think this is interesting. Like I was talking to one of my friends and he works in design. And he was like, one of my client, he's a designer, he runs an agency, but he was like, he has a client who is like big into AI. So he is showing my friend, my designer friend, that how he can use Claude to kind of like automate my friend's job, which was very interesting. And he was like, what he would do is that, okay, every time he's giving instructions to get Claude to a certain point, it will then ask Claude to remember that entire step as a skill, and make sure you remember that entire step as a skill, and next time make sure that you use this method. What is happening over here is that as we are going from, because yesterday we were experimenting, yesterday I think we did both of them, we used both of them. We used ChatGPT Pro Thinking, as well as we used Claude 4.6. But if we would have done the same thing in 4.6, it is using a different method. As 4.6 is getting better and better, it is using different method. As the context is improving, as its understanding based on my certain signals and feedback, that what do I like, what kind of the content do I like and stuff, it is slowly improving all of that with the signals. Also, sometimes I think it's using like totally different methods to get to the same point or get to a different point maybe. So these are all the little things which are very interesting to just understand what is happening. All right, let's see. Essay worthy insights. Seeking is like breathing. Okay. Seeking is like breathing. You don't choose it. You just notice you haven't stopped. To a deep dive into Sufi mysticism, the concept of hera, bewilderment, perplexity, the conversation arrives at a striking compression. Seeking isn't something you add to your life. It's what your life already is. When you stop armoring it with answers, the moment you say, I have arrived, you have proven you were never on the path. The sage and the child both breathe without thinking about it. The difference is the sage breathed deliberately in between. The sage and the child, this is like again the curve that we were talking about, the curve of the beginner curve and the beginner, the amateur and the expert curve. That the amateur and the expert pretty much do the same thing. It's just that the expert has gone through this mid phase where they were the intermediate phase where they were just like doing too many things. But anyways, the difference is the sage breathe deliberately in between. All right. And we have the timestamps. Okay. Follow your bliss actually means follow your blisters. Gets unpacked from its bumper sticker version back to its Upanishadic root. Anandamay Kosh, the bliss sheath, where bliss isn't pleasure but the fundamental nature of being. Satchitanand Campbell himself said he should have said follow your blisters. The real test isn't does this bring me joy? Would I be hollowed out without it? And the thread that connects you to bliss will also destroy you. Every hero's journey involves dismemberment. Quiet desperation. The refrigerator hum you forget is there. Thoreau's Lives of Quiet Desperation gets reframed. The key word isn't desperation, it's quiet. Loud desperation gets addressed. Quiet desperation disguises itself as responsibility and maturity. Society is structurally designed to produce it. Just enough reward to prevent rebellion, just enough distraction to prevent reflection, just enough reward to prevent rebellion, just enough distraction to prevent reflection, just enough achievement to simulate meaning. Thoreau went to Walden not to escape but to develop an ear, the ability to hear the refrigerator hum even while standing in the kitchen. And critically, he went back. AI dismemberment. When the craft you mastered becomes approximable in seconds. This is really cool. This is amazing work. I think I have to only use Claude now. Claude is doing something incredible. By the way, do I like this? I think maybe we'll change the cream color a little bit darker. So when the Claude is turned on, there is still certain what do we say? Certain I don't know what to say. Anyways, there's still certain difference. Yeah, that's it. Certain difference. By the way, beautiful view. What is happening today? This is amazing. This is beautiful. All right, let's go. The conversation reframes the AI will take our jobs. Reflecting on my own conversations, on my own interests at the end with AI and entering into entering into this loop is incredible. This is incredible. This is incredible. Okay. The conversation reframes the AI will take our jobs anxiety as a question of identity, not economics. When software engineering gets automated, it doesn't just threaten a paycheck, it threatens the story people tell themselves about why they matter. The consolidation that thinking was the thing machines couldn't touch is dissolving. AI will take our jobs anxiety is a question of identity, not economics. When software engineering gets automated, it doesn't just threaten a paycheck, it threatens the story people tell themselves about why they matter. The consolation that thinking was the thing machines couldn't touch is dissolving, but the real insight identifying with any skill was always the mistake. Maya, a useful illusion. Identifying with any skill was always a mistake. Wow. The disturbance AI causes is actually a forged vairagya, detachment, the exact question the rishis wanted you to ask: who am I without my craft? Upskill into prompt engineering take, but the deeper Nietzschean framing, the real divide won't be between people who can use AI and people who can't. It will be between people who know who they are without their craft and people who don't. The engineer becomes philosopher of systems, and the survivors aren't the ones who upskill, but the ones who were never fully captured by their professional identity. AI as identity dismemberment. Ishk, the love that deepens with every taste. The Sufi concept of Ishk, passionate love, is introduced as love that increases with proximity rather than being satisfied by. The closer you get, the more you realize how vast the distance is, the opposite of normal desire, where fulfillment extinguishes wanting. This maps onto consciousness itself. Every answer reframes the question. Every peak reveals a further horizon. The organism that stops seeking is biologically dead. The closer you... This... Claude writes like a poet. This is amazing. The Sufi concept of Ishk is introduced as love that increases with proximity rather than being satisfied by. The closer you get, the more you realize how vast the distance is, the opposite of normal desire, where fulfillment extinguishes wanting. This maps onto consciousness itself. Every answer reframes the question. Every peak reveals a further horizon. The organism that stops seeking is biologically dead. Action items. Agent Ops. Twice considered founder building Agent Ops. You said let's look into it. Hamptonism. Mentioned you flagged to look into Surmount West. Korean context, the rapper singer on My First Million. You mentioned being reminded of someone who was who was on My First Million, talking about putting yourself out there creatively and asking does anyone else feel this? Implied you want to rewatch that episode. It would be interesting if Claude can do this by itself. Claude should be able to just look into this and tell me that, hey, who was I talking about? J Alto. You notice his post about moths, lamps, screens in real time, worth engaging with or saving breath, appeared on screen as a tweet you were looking at early on, visible in video. Wow. If Claude can look into video, this is amazing. I have one task for myself. prior to talking about going back into the world. The task itself wasn't explicitly named, but the context was around building a loop. Follow your bliss, go into the world, have conversations, bring it back into your work, repeat. Update our YouTube channel description. You said you want to change the diagram from technology and business, technology and philosophy. We did that. Process the last stream. You notice the previous stream hasn't been processed yet, needs attention. Get Claude to analyze your YouTube videos. I wish Claude could actually run the analysis on my YouTube videos. That would be really cool. You want to build or find a workflow for this. Content to consume, revisit. MCP for bank account, agentic budgeting. Topology as a math topic. Quantitative research rabbit hole. Seem to want to go deeper. Nordic sauna music. You're back into it and clearly enjoying it. Casual but worth noting if you are curating playlist. Tools to try. WisprFlow, ChatGPT Atlas. Claude for philosophy sessions. Want to make this a regular practice, especially post sauna, good headspace. Whoop, you're tracking activities with it. Tried to lock sauna, but it wasn't available as an activity, logged as a hot yoga instead. Want to really put myself through physical pain. Cold plunge sauna as stress reduction. You emphasized this as essential after moving to your new place. Spend most time on Twitter X. It's all about distribution. If you cannot translate your work into a way so that people can consume it, that's going to be hard. The input-output cycle, a period of exposure to the world, taking inputs, learning, followed by a period of silence. We cut off everything from the old life and recreate from scratch. Essential loop. Wow. Okay, the timestamps thing isn't working exactly as I want. It's thinking that I'm asking it to give timestamps of that relevant insight every time I mention that somehow in the content. But what I really am looking for is just timestamps. Just give me timestamps. I can copy paste that into my YouTube video and that's it. And it's interesting how every time it uses a different method. It uses a different method to come up with the response, which is cool. Alright, it's interesting how you see like suddenly see the colors aren't there. Okay. We'll add one lamp over here to make sure there's more light. By the way, what happens if I turn on this main light? Oh no, I don't think this is good. This is good. I don't think so, it's good. This white definitely makes the yellow become more yellowish. But actually I kind of need this for my eyes, so my eyes feel nicer and better. It's very harsh though. It's very harsh. What happens if I do this? Wow. Oh no. It's too yellow. What happens if we do this? Okay. Okay, this is good. Alright, cool. The goal of spiritual life is not altered states, but altered traits. The only way to possess the truth is to be possessed by it. Rationalism. The entire quiet desperation thing was amazing. The way we get into the flow thing yesterday, that was absolutely beautiful. I don't know if that has been processed. That would be amazing. That would be not amazing. That would be incredible. We had some snowboarding stuff happening today, so that would be cool to see. Okay, processed. Yes. 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 It's been processed. It's been processed. Not enough messages to compact. Boom. Go. Let's go. Let's go. Claude's plan. It's not God's plan, it's Claude's plan. Oh no, that's a good joke. Claude's plan. Claude's plan. Wow, they could make a rap on this. Claude a démarré le débogage de ce navigateur. It would be really cool if he make like, if he asks, what's that Suno music, right? Suno, that hey, take Claude's plan and recite this exactly how, in a way that oh wow, that would be really cool. In a way that Drake's God's plan is. Let's see. Claude's plan. Okay, and okay, we'll take a screenshot of Claude's plan. And we'll go to ChatGPT. Take Claude's plan from this screenshot and turn it into a song similar to God's Plan by Drake. Let's see what happens. This is fun. Okay. We got something. We got something. Alright, let's see. Alright, studio lights on, transcript long, coffee cooling. Here's Claude's plan, sung in the cadence and confidence of God's plan, but written fresh, so it lives its own life. Okay, by the way, as we are doing this, even that is ready. Even the next stream is ready. The next stream has been extracted. The insights have been extracted. By the way, look at this beauty. Okay. Yeah, they've been streaming. Yeah, live stream hours getting heavy. Yeah, I've been reading through the whole thing. Yeah, scroll slow, every word intentional. Yeah, open tab, let the transcript breathe. It's a marathon, not a skim and leave. They tell me short form, I tell them now. There's gold buried deep in minute 54. I read it once, then I read it twice. Idea don't rush, they crystallize. I extract insights, timestamps clean. Essay seeds from the in-between. Not just what was said out loud, but the pattern underneath the sound. I've been extracting action items. Who to call and what to build. Yeah, that's Claude's plan. No skipping steps, no half retakes. Every insight earns its place. Claude's plan. Claude's plan. Approve it or change it. Either way, I'm patient. I'll run it again when you're ready. Yeah, that's Claude's plan. I think so. This is very. I don't know if it exactly for. I don't remember the song, but I think Grok will do it because Grok doesn't give a shit. Please confirm your age. Whoa. 1998. What is happening? Claude's plan. Wait, that was so fast. That was so fast. What is happening? Parody version of Drake's God's Plan. Rewritten on Claude's Plan from that screenshot. Claude's Plan to the tune of God's Plan. She said, do you love me? I tell her, oh, Polly, I only love my transcript, my timestamps, I'm sorry. Claude's Plan. Claude's Plan. I hold back. Sometimes I don't know. They wishing and they wish. They wishing and wishing and wishing. They wishing on Claude, yeah. I've been moving calm. Okay, this is pretty cool. She said, do you love me? I tell her, only Polly. I only love my transcript, my timestamps, I'm sorry. Claude's Plan. Claude's Plan. I hold back. I only love my mom, I'm sorry. 50 transcripts dropping, I'm sorry. I'm just out here trying to summarize properly. Claude's Plan. Claude's Plan. Open up the YouTube transcript current tab. Long ass live stream. Yeah, it's probably mad. Systematic read through. Never skip a line. Never. Timestamp on lock. Every code gonna shine. Extract the gold. Essay angles popping out. Inside level crazy. Got the whole plot out. Action items stacking at the list get long. People to DM. Content to watch. Tools to try on. She said, do you love me? I tell her, only Polly. I only love my transcript and timestamps. I'm sorry. Claude's Plan. Claude's Plan. Bad vibes, I don't entertain him. Just give me the full transcript. I'm not tainted. Entertain it. Step 1, open tab. Let the words just rain in. Step 2, read it all. No complaining. Step 3, pull the fire. Essay angles flaming. Step 4, action. Let's see how the task I'm claiming. Step 5, organize it, clean, present it, perfect. Well-structured output. Well-structured output. Imagine Drake saying well-structured output. Yeah, that's how we work it. I've been moving different since the plan dropped. Claude don't play, Claude don't get outfoxed. They want the summary, but they scared of the length. I just keep reading, turning ours to strength. She said, do you love me? I tell her, only Polly. I only love my transcript and timestamps. I'm sorry. Claude's Plan. Claude's Plan. Claude's Plan. Claude's Plan. I finna organize it. Make it look so clean. Claude's Plan. Claude's Plan. Timestamps and actions. Items on the screen. Claude's Plan. I only love my transcript and... sorry. Claude's Plan. Really cool. The vision, on me. Claude's Plan. Claude's Plan. She said, do you love me? I tell her, only Polly. I only love my transcript and timestamps. I'm sorry. Claude's Plan. Alright, go. Claude's Plan. Parfait. Parfait. Okay, this setup. Does this lighting work? I don't think this lighting works. We need more lighting, or we need more lights. There is a certain hour in the morning where you have this sun right in your face, and it's perfect. But after that, obviously it's dark. and that's not good. Okay, but now we go to day 27. This is crazy. Opus 4.6 is processing this data so fast, so fast. How is this possible? How c'est possible? Comment c'est possible? As report the insights, the dark side of flow, neurochemical crash, and bliss junkies. Claude argues that flow has a dangerous flip side nobody talks about. After the massive neurochemical high, all the feel-good chemicals exhaust themselves. You crash hard. Negative self-talk, zero motivation, depression-like symptoms. Negative self-talk, zero motivation, depression-like symptoms. He compares it to a hangover and warns of bliss junkies who raise their expectations so high that normal life becomes unbearable. One Reddit user compared flow withdrawal to quitting nicotine drugs as prosthetic flow. Also, it's really interesting, like Claude knows exactly, like Claude has designed everything. It knows exactly how much space is like perfect, how much space is like it's the right proportion for a sidebar, because because I think ChatGPT isn't that good at it. Yeah, like once you change the default setting, you're messed up. But this is really cool, like how Claude has like, this looks really clean. So much design work goes into just the sidebar size. I think what they have done is it seems like what this looks like to me is that they have used the grid method and turn this into 12 lines, and this is like 2 lines, or this is two verticals or 2 columns. They have made 12 columns, and this is like 2 columns over here, and that's the reason this looks perfect. So this is 5:1 ratio. 5 ratio goes for your main screen and 1 goes for your sidebar. This is beautiful. Like, just the ratio is beautiful. Ratio is perfect. I think my ratio over here on on Atlas is kind of messed up, but anyways, just using the serif font is amazing. Serif font is beautiful. Use serif font. Use more and more serif font. Bring more beauty back. All right. Utilify neurochemicals flow produces dopamine, norepinephrine, endorphins, anandamide, serotonin directly onto a class of drugs people consume en masse. I like how they have, they just take like a Sanskrit word and they make it into a chemical. Anandamide has systematically destroyed the natural pathway for these chemicals. Each drug is a prosthetic replacement for a specific flow trigger that civilization removed. Wow, that was very interesting. That was very interesting to see the categorization that, okay, we are taking serotonin. We are like, serotonin gives us, let's say, dopamine gives us engagement and excitement, and people want that feeling, so they take cocaine because that replaces it. Without the real flow, you can get into this zone by just consuming a drug. That our limits are governed as much by imagination's ability to dream of performance as by flow's ability to amplify it. Kotler notes that our limits are governed as much by imagination's ability to dream of performance as by flow's ability to amplify it. Action sports athletes cracked the code on flow before neuroscience caught up, because when the stakes are life and death, you either find flow or you die. There is no faking it. Your seating is your imagination, an essay on how the constraint of human performance isn't biological. It's the failure to imagine what's possible. You could use the action sports case studies, big wave surfing, free solo climbing as proof, and extend it into creative work and entrepreneurship. Turn work into play, not play into work. If you are hunting the highest version of yourself, you need to turn work into play, not the reverse. When you turn play into work, intrinsic motivation shuts down. When the self disappears in flow, it takes doubt, insecurity, and self-consciousness along for the ride. The direction matters. An essay on the asymmetry between play to work. kills motivation versus work to play unlocks flow. You could tie in autonomy, mastery, and purpose as the three intrinsic drivers and argue that most corporate gamification gets the direction backwards. Corporate gamification gets the direction backwards, where corporate gamification is trying to take you from work to play. No. From play to work instead of work to play. Flow as forward escape versus hedonic pleasure. Kotler draws a distinction between flow and hedonic pleasures, drugs, gambling, etc. Hedonic pleasures make you feel good on their own. Flow only shows up when you are pushing to high levels of performance because it demands meeting challenges and developing skills. It produces growth, making it an escape forward from current reality rather than an escape from it. Escape from it. Okay. Escape forward, an essay on the two types of escape. Most people escape backward, numbing, consumption, distraction. Flow is the rare escape that leaves you better than it found you. This connects to your broader theme of creation over consumption. Escape forward. This is amazing. This is amazing. I wanna go to Claude right now and be like, Claude, based on everything that you know about me after processing all my live stream transcripts, what do you think are certain topics that I keep coming back to again and again and again and again and again? Go, Claude. Claude, bring me insights. I think Claude is really good at bringing back insights because ChatGPT doesn't really bring you insights. Claude remembers the things that you went deeper into and kind of brings that back, and you want memory to do that. You turn on the memory function to do that, to help it. It is a mirror. It is a mirror for yourself, and you want to use that mirror. It is like a therapist. What does a therapist do? Therapist sees that, okay, there is a pattern that you keep talking about again and again and again and again, and let me tell you, this is it. This is the pattern. Or a therapist can help you connect the dots, and that's exactly what you want to do. You want to be constantly producing and constantly seeing that what are certain ideas that you see yourself being attracted to again and again and again and again, and then something like this, an external entity can come and connect the dots that, hey, I see you keep talking about flow, I see you keep talking about philosophy, you keep talking technology, and this is like still too high level. It's like going very deeply. Like you think you were talking about technology and philosophy, but no. You really care about this, and technology and philosophy are just a front to really talk about this. Like find the thing that you care about. Also, this is one idea that I found about recently, and it's incredible. I was on a ski trip. I don't have no idea how to ski, but I still go to ski. I'm on the bunny hill. I'm skiing. I go for the first round. I somehow get down. I fall once, but I somehow get down. Amazing time. And then I go grab a coffee, and I'm just chatting with like this Australian guy, and I'm like, hey, teach me some stuff about skiing. How do you get better in skiing and stuff like that? And then I also go on ChatGPT, and I'm like, hey, give me the best tips, whatever. Give me the best tips to learn how to ski. And it tells me, I think this is so incredible. It's so important to try new things. It's important to try new things because you can connect the dots. Like while I'm learning French, I'm learning about certain things, and those things have become so natural to me now, like turning things into flow, removing the barrier between things. Like whatever you're gonna do, just go straight, do it, instead of thinking that you want to go like build a certain level and do something. Just go straight and do it. So every time you learn something new, you are using some principles that are specifically used in these skills, and you bring them into your life, and that's how then you generally start operating. It's incredible. But anyways, with skiing, I was on the bar. I'm like, hey, ChatGPT, tell me. I just did like one round of bunny hill, but I still have no idea how to ski. How do I get better at skiing? Give me like the top 80-20 principles of how to get better in ski. And it's like, one thing it said was very interesting. Hey, most people, wherever you look at, you will go wherever you look at. You'll go wherever you look at. I thought that was very interesting. You will go wherever you look at. So if you look down, you're going to go down. If you look side, you will go side. So the important thing is that look where you want to go. You will go, your skis will go where you are looking at. So the best thing to do is, your skis will go where you're looking at. So the best thing to do is actually look where you want to go. And if you extrapolate that to life, that basically means that and then I recently read about someone. I recently read about, like, I forgot where I read, but it's like he's like a race car driver. He's talking about don't look at the wall. So when you are a race car driver, and think about you're driving in Monaco. If you're driving Monaco, you are constantly surrounded by these tiny, like, the corridor or the racetrack is really tiny. It's really narrow, and both the sides you have like long walls. It's very natural for you to look at the wall, but you don't have to look at the wall. You don't look at the wall. If you look at the wall, you will run and you'll go into the wall. You want to look where you are going, where you want to go. You want to look where you want to go. Look where you want to go. And I thought that was incredible. And then again, like, I was in the gym and I'm just sitting, I'm drinking my smoothie. I'm sipping on my smoothie, my nice Body Energy Club cold brew mocha, beautiful. And then there's a girl who sits beside me and she's holding the book Psycho-Cybernetics. And I'm like, oh my God. This is amazing, because Danko talks about Psycho-Cybernetics. I thought I would have understood the concept through him, but obviously and I did look into the idea. The idea was very interesting, that basically the book is written by, let's say, a plastic surgeon, and the plastic surgeon kind of realizes slowly that when he is treating his patients, some people, even after he fixes their facial features, and now they're looking good, they're looking much more beautiful, much more beautiful, much better than before, still their life hasn't improved. Why? Because the self-talk, the inner talk hasn't changed. The outer face might have changed, but the inner talk inside the head, the inner voice inside the head hasn't changed. And that was crazy. And he was like, something very interesting is happening over here, that you don't really have to change your face. What you have to really change is your inner voice. What you have to really change is the inner talk, the talk that you're having with yourself. That's very interesting. And yeah, and then so I knew about this much, and then I come across this girl and she's reading this book, and I'm like, oh shit, I think I have to check it out. I go on YouTube, there's like a 12-hour audiobook, just like somebody just uploaded on YouTube, amazing. And I just started listening, and I'm like, I really want to finish this book today, because this book seems like very important. And then I think I listened to like 3 hours or 4 hours of that audiobook. I already know what is happening over there. Like, I implemented quickly whatever the book said. And I think it's so important. Like, when you start controlling your life, every time you come up with every time you hear something good, take that action and have that physical manifestation of that idea in your reality. Turn that idea, that insight that you heard that was pretty cool, quickly into something that is that could have a physical manifestation in your life, and especially at your home, in your environments where you already hang out, because then you can really control it. And that was really cool. Because because he specifically talks about this idea simply that, hey, just set up like 5 alarms throughout the day. Every 3 hours, set up an alarm on your phone and just remind you of your goals. That's it. And I think that is really important. Instead of thinking about all the problems in your life, you want to be thinking about where you are going. If you look at the problem, you will go to the problem. What you want to look at is where you are going. The best thing I can do for the people around me is to do this exact same thing, that, hey, just set up 5 alarms. Not fire alarms. In my gym, I was just sitting beside in the sauna. I was sitting beside a guy who was a firefighter. So it was very interesting. I was talking to him that, hey, aren't you seeing a lot of false alarms these days? So that was funny. But anyways, what you want to focus on is, okay, what time is it? It is right now. It's 6:22. We have 1.5 hours. Actually, we'll go to the sauna. We'll hit the sauna right now. Let's go. But anyways, yeah, don't look at the wall. So beautiful how I come across this idea during the ski. I then listen to someone who talks about the same thing in the race car driver. Then I also come across Psycho-Cybernetics. Psycho-Cybernetics is exactly the same thing. Think about your goal all the time. Think about your goals all the time. Start imagining. The idea is also that at every those 3 hour gap, you put an alarm. You think about that. You think about your goal, and if the moment the alarm goes off, you take 2 minutes to close your eyes and visualize yourself already having that thing. That again connects with reality transurfing, which is again like, hey, just reduce the potential barrier between you and your goal. Because what is happening a lot is that you are putting everything on a pedestal. When you put everything on a pedestal, you are already creating a massive potential barrier between you and that thing that you want. You have to just close the gap, reduce the gap, so that you just flow. The more gap you create, the more energy it's going to take to get there. So flow. All right, pretty cool. Okay, I'm very excited for what what Claude comes up with over here. But flow is forward, escape is hedonic pleasure. Distinction between flow and hedonic pleasures: drug, gambling, hedonic pleasure make you feel good on their own. Flow only shows up when you are pushing to higher levels of performance. Because it demands meeting challenges and developing skills. It produces growth, making it an escape forward from current reality rather than an escape from it. It demands meeting challenges and developing skills. It produces growth, making it an escape forward from a current reality rather than an escape from it. Knowledge work is almost entirely disembodied, and that's the problem. Physical activities naturally provide two specific flow triggers: deep embodiment and physical risk. That knowledge work almost entirely lacks. You sit, stare at a screen, your body's irrelevant. The consequences of failure are delayed, abstract, and social rather than immediate and physical. Your nervous system doesn't register a bad spreadsheet the way it registers a wave about to break on your head. This is why Kotler studied extreme athletes, not management consultants. Physical activities naturally provide two specific flow triggers: deep embodiment and physical risk. That knowledge work almost entirely lacks. You sit, stare at a screen, your body's irrelevant. The consequences of failure are delayed, abstract, and social rather than immediate and physical. Your nervous system doesn't register a bad spreadsheet the way it registers a wave about to break on your head. You won't die if the spreadsheet is wrong. Wow. This is crazy. Physical activities naturally provide two specific flow triggers: deep embodiment and physical risk. That knowledge work almost entirely lacks. You sit, stare at a screen, your body's irrelevant. The consequences of failure are delayed, abstract, and social rather than immediate and physical. Your nervous system doesn't register a bad spreadsheet the way it registers a wave about to break on your head. You won't die if the spreadsheet is wrong. An essay on why knowledge workers struggle with flow and what to do about it. You could argue for reintroducing embodiment, handwriting, woodworking, walking meetings, and genuine stakes into creative intellectual work. Your gym is your community. Choose it like you would choose a neighborhood. If you go to a gym 3 days a week, your gym is your community. Choose it like you choose a neighborhood. If you go to a gym 3 days a week, you will see the same people over and over. These become your people. So you should be as intentional about choosing a gym as choosing a neighborhood. Beauty, aesthetics, and the caliber of people there matter, because this is the environment where you think about work and yourself. Wow, it's exactly what I said. This is exactly what I said, just like, yeah, better summarized, better phrasing, better English. Okay. Pick your gym like you would pick your city. A short essay on how the environments you repeatedly place yourself is becoming your default become your default community, and most people choose them by proximity or price instead of by who they will become surrounded by. Very interesting. It's also good that we have some white over here, because if it's all yellow, it might not be fun. What happens if I turn the middle one? Boom. Let's see. Nicer? It was kind of nice to know that that dark area is actually lit up. Yeah, it doesn't look good when it's just dark. Okay. Short essay on how the environments you repeatedly place yourself in become your default community, and most people choose them by proximity or price instead of who they will become surrounded they will become surrounded by. Message the founder. Message the founder after every great experience. After every great experience at a business, you find the founder owner and send them a genuine message about the experience you meant to you. You weren't expecting anything back, but it opens to real human connections and often leads to unexpected relationships. Already messengers, Ewan Kotler, cold DM'd on Facebook originally. Deep dive into his work continues. Peter Lyon. Oh, came into Max Barrett research. Okay, Peter Lyon. I didn't want to reach out to Peter Lyon. Andrew Wilkinson mentioned someone to explore. Brian Johnson, anti-aging books. Rise of Superman. Stealing Fire. Malcolm Gladwell's work. Csikszentmihalyi's work. Foundational flow research from the 1960s onward. Pre-flow influence. Kotler. Ray Dalio. Principles for dealing with a changing world order. Balaji. Alex. And the weird thing is that now I'm mentioning these again and again in this stream, they will come again. So it's also interesting, as I'm like every single day I'm also analyzing my previous stream. I think we have to do this. We have to, every single day we analyze the previous stream so we can carry forward the ideas that we find interesting. We can carry forward the ideas that we find interesting. Yeah, that's nicer. That's nicer. Okay, pretty much I mentioned the same thing again. Pooja Thali, Max Barrett, snowboarding clips, Taylor Swift, FDR, tool systems to try to build automated transcript inside extraction pipeline, Readwise style system for saving favorite quotes, passages from streams. Actually, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I don't have to automate this because I can literally Claude takes less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes to do this entire thing. So, and it's better that I do it while I'm live, so it's actually fun to read it, and it's fun to also keep engaging back with it again and again. Obsidian, Tailwind CSS, WisprFlow, Claude Code. Encoding overload, okay. OBS. Get into flow state first, gym later, don't break the morning flow. Yes, today we did that exactly. I loved it. I woke up and we straight sat down and started work or started writing. I think it's amazing. It's amazing. It's training your brain to get, it's also you leveraging those deep states, deep waves, whatever they call it, deep waves, theta waves, delta waves, because I think it's really important. The moment you wake up, when you wake up, your brain is so fresh that you want to really train your brain with some stuff. You really want to train your brain with some stuff right then. Okay, parfait. Claude did great work. Merci, Claude. Merci. All right, we'll go back. Maybe we'll minimize this. Oh, you were here. Wow. Krishan, from processing our streams and the hundreds of conversations we have had, there are clear gravitational wells your minds keep orbiting. Here are the themes you can't stay away from. Mortality as a design constraint. This is probably the deepest one. Momentum mori as a service. Algorithm knows you are dying. Finite iterations of experience. You will see your parents only 47 more times. The Katha Upanishads conversation with death. You keep returning to the idea that confronting finitude isn't morbid. It's the most practical lens for making decisions. Everything you build has a ticking clock somewhere underneath it. I don't know if it's using my transcript. The gap between who people think they are and who they actually are. The attention economy and spiritual left. Come back to this concept. Platforms extracting final life from infinite growth. Noise as anesthetic. Digital distraction as sophisticated avoidance. Tattvamasi. Claude didn't give me anything interesting. Wow. The sacred is too important to be left to any one tradition. If we take the world's enduring religions at their best, we discover the distilled wisdom of the human race. The infinite vibrancy of reality always exceeds our ability to capture it. The infinite vibrancy of reality always exceeds our ability to capture it on human nature and meaning. We are the children of our landscape. It dictates behavior and even thought in the measure to which we are responsive to it. The human opportunities to transform the outward journey into an inner one, to make the pilgrimage to Mecca also a pilgrimage to the heart. It is the things in common that make relationships enjoyable, but it is the little differences that make them interesting. It is the things in common that make relationships enjoyable, but it is the little differences that make them interesting. Rationalism is the view that everything real is rational and everything rational is real. The world, however, is not obliged to conform to human reason. The only way to possess a truth is to be possessed by it. The human opportunity is to transform the outward journey into an inner one. Top quotes from Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Wow, WisprFlow got Mihai's last name. This is crazy. This is crazy. Nobody can spell that. Csikszentmihalyi. Csikszentmihalyi. Wow. Okay. The best moments in our lives are not the passive, receptive, relaxing times. The best moments usually occur if a person's body or mind is stretched to its limit in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. Enjoyment appears at the boundary between boredom and anxiety, when the challenges are just balanced with the person's capacity to act. It is when we act freely for the sake of the action itself rather than for ulterior motives that we learn to become more than what we were. It is when we act freely for the sake of the action itself rather than for ulterior motives that we learn to become more than what we were. On happiness and meaning, people who learn to control inner experience will be able to determine the quality of their lives, which is as close as any of us can come to being happy. People who learn to control inner experience will be able to determine the quality of their lives, which is as close as any of us can come to being happy. Also, Super Bowl is happening right now. Let's see if ChatGPT can give me live scores. Give me live scores of Super Bowl. Seems like Seahawks is gonna win. Okay. People who learn to control inner experience will be able to determine the quality of their lives. Seahawks is actually right beside us, Seattle. So we should have at least we could have gone to just Seattle, like 1 hour drive, and we could have profité la journée, profité la voyage. A person can make himself happy or miserable regardless of what is actually happening outside, just by changing the contents of consciousness. A person can make himself happy or miserable regardless of what is actually happening outside, just by changing the contents of consciousness. Repression is not the way to virtue. When people restrain themselves out of fear, their lives are by necessity diminished. Repression is not the way to virtue. When people restrain themselves out of fear, their lives are by necessity diminished. On attention and consciousness, control of consciousness determines the quality of life. Attention is like energy in that without it, no work can be done. And in doing work, it is dissipated. We create ourselves by how we invest this energy. The mark of a person who is in control of consciousness is the ability to focus attention and will to the oblivious to to be oblivious to distractions, to concentrate for as long as it takes to achieve a goal. Few things are sadder than encountering a person who knows exactly what he should do yet cannot muster enough energy to do it. Few things are sadder than encountering a person who knows exactly what he should do yet cannot muster enough energy to do it. Weather has such a massive impact. Weather has such a massive impact. Like today, the weather. I'm trying to figure out what is happening today. What have we done differently today? Maybe it's just the fact that my brain is loving the novelty of the setup, the novelty of everything. The stream is right when we made all these changes. Maybe it's the sound is getting me hyped up. Maybe it's this view. Maybe it was the beautiful view this morning, the beautiful day this morning that we had. Maybe it was also the work that I did, that as I kept on doing more and more work, as I kept on practicing more and more French for my exam, I felt more and more powerful. It's kind of crazy. Like when you work towards this thing and you feel like you are moving really faster, suddenly you feel like this is so easy, and then suddenly you are building up a lot of energy, and then yeah, it's very interesting. It's very weird. Like what do you do with that? You are building a certain type of energy, and then I'm kind of like, you're kind of afraid. You're like, hey, let me stop this. I think it's too much. Something is happening inside me which is saying that yeah, you're getting very something is happening. Okay. Few things are sadder than encountering a person who knows exactly what he should do yet cannot muster enough energy to do it. To overcome the anxieties and depressions of contemporary life, individuals must become independent of the social environment to the degree that they no longer respond exclusively in terms of its rewards and punishments. To overcome the anxieties and depressions of contemporary life, individuals must become independent of the social environment to the degree that they no longer respond exclusively in terms of its rewards and punishments. Wow. Actually, something that Claude should finally do is okay, now create timestamps for this entire live stream, focusing on essay-worthy insights.